Good morning, everyone. Tony Walsh here. Welcome back to the channel. This here is going to be a Hurricane Helene update from my house in Blackshear, Georgia, which is different from where I work, which is Homerville, Georgia. I went to work Thursday morning. Let's see, got there 7 o'clock Thursday morning, and it's about 45 miles from my house. So I travel that twice a day. So stayed there from Thursday morning till 8 o'clock Friday night. During that whole time, I had about 20 minutes worth of sleep scattered over that time, and not 20 minutes of hard sleep. So I got home Friday night about 9:30. It just stayed in my truck. Didn't even get out of my truck. Just put the seat back and went to sleep in the truck because I ain't got no air conditioning in the house. So I've come back to the end of the highway, the dirt road, to go to our house, and just want to show you what's happened with us. And I am not asking for prayer for us. We are thankful that nobody was hurt. The houses in our family had very minimal damage, but the community where I work had fatalities, and the community where I live had fatalities. Now, obviously, for HIPAA reasons and stuff like that, I can't put the person where I work, but the person where I live was actually the assistant fire chief for the city of Blackshear, a friend of mine. Yeah, that's on Facebook, so that's public knowledge of his death. And he was killed in the line of duty. While he was in his city truck working on some stuff, a tree fell on the truck and killed him, from what I understand, from what I've read. So this is 9:06 Saturday morning, so I've had not quite 12 hours sleep. So sleeping in a truck's not the most comfortable thing, but at least it was cool. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and just drive up to the yard, and then we'll do a walk and talk. I'm gonna try to hold this while I'm driving, so there'll be some bouncing. You'll see the steering wheel of my hand going back across. But if you've watched my other videos, especially during the rain, you know they had the tendency to close our dirt road because we live in the middle of two bad spots. So as you see here, there's the road closed sign, so I've got to maneuver through it. Now, honestly, with this hurricane, we didn't have near as much rain as what I thought we would. Matter of fact, you can see this road is dry. It was covered, but immediately dried up because we just didn't have the quantity of rain. But you will see the trees are down. We had some high winds. You know, gusts have been estimated here 90 to 100 mile an hour in our area. So this first property we come to here on the left is my mother-in-law's cousin, and I just don't know if the camera does this justice to tell you these pine trees. Now these pine trees may not be but about 10, 15 years old at the most, but you can see how they are laid over. Old pine trees have just come to the ground for a lot of part, and you're fixing to come up and see their pecan orchard. So, you know, they've been baling pine straw in here. Of course, that's done and over with, so that's a loss of revenue. You see that pecan tree right there just did miss the house. And over here on Cousin Dane's side, you got trees all over the ground. I'll just stick here to my left-hand window. You know, and these trees here, Lord, are probably 70 years old. You know, you can see them leaning up there. So not only have you lost 70 years worth of growth, you've lost that revenue. You know, there's just no way to recover from it. So you can see just a lot of limbs down, but another big tree down up here. Then we come up to Nana's property, which we have moved into, and will be ours. So you can just see got some starting of our trees. You see this big pine tree down here. Let me get it out to my right hand window. See that big pine tree there? And it actually fell across these wires, and there were enough slack in these wires that they did not break, but it did snap the pole right up there. And I'll let you look at the tree right here. So they did have to get it cut up. And I'm gonna come back and count the rings later, and I'll try to just put a little card right here if I can guess how old this tree is. But you can see it laid up. The county got it sawed up and out of the road to where at least we could get to our house. But you can see the pole right here snapped on the ground, and I'll do a walk in just a moment and we'll look at it. So I told Jackie that we've got to invest in a chainsaw and a wood chipper now. Our road's closed because down there at the pond, and again we'll do that walk. Y'all have seen it over, so I'm gonna get parked, and because the generator's running where I park, so I'm gonna turn this off, get parked, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, I'm just gonna start right here at the garden, so you can see obviously it survived. The tubs didn't even get blowed over, but here's where I am in relationship to the yard and where I started our video to our property a moment ago. But got a few carrots coming up, and I had them covered with newspaper, and then just these little fiberglass posts laying on top. So some of the carrots are coming up, so I need to get some more newspaper to put back over the top of them. Got a few beets starting to come up right here. Snap peas coming up. Got mustard coming up. Got a little bit of the lettuce coming up. So that's the garden update. So now we'll start over here just walking and looking to what I showed you when we were driving. That over there is everything I showed you driving up. You can see the big pine tree right there that was laid down, and the county did not cut that up. A friend of John's named Justin Foreman come cut that up. So Justin, you probably won't never see this, but if you do, thank you kindly. So we have lost, you might as well say, 99% of our pecan crop. So it's gone. It's all laying on the dirt. Now I will try to pick some of this up by hand, the pecans, just to try to scrap some money, or but it won't be nothing, and I may get aggravated because the problem is this time of the year they are still light. They are not fully developed, which means that even if I did pick them up, it's probably not worth the money. And then they're going to charge you 10 times. So I lose, you lose, and the middleman wins. And that's the way it is for farming all over. Doesn't matter what your crop is. I was reading something the other day that it costs a farmer so much an acre to put a corn crop in, and when you're trying to sell it today, the corn farmer's losing $2 a bushel. I know blueberry farmers here took a beating this year. Folks, I'm here to tell you, we got to get different thinking in our government, because the American family farmer as we know it is quickly going away. Things turning into corporate farmer, and once them corporations get a hold of us, they got us by the gonads, if you know what I mean. And our government is not doing anything about it. They could care less, because our government wants to control you. They will do it by your food, your electricity. Anything they can regulate is how they are going to control us. Now let me get off that rant. So that hole there is probably 4 foot deep, and you can see this pecan tree right here. And thankfully it did not tear the water line up, because somewheres right here where I'm standing is a 2-inch water line that runs from our deep well right there, try to spin you without getting you drunk, to that white pipe to irrigate them pecan trees across the street right there. So you can see it is somewhere close. Then last year you saw me tap off that line to run water to right there to irrigate the garden. Last week we had to put in a new drain field for the septic tank. This septic tank worked for Nana and Nana and Granddaddy for years. But as soon as me and Jackie come over here and started babysitting grandkids and family members coming to visit, we obviously overflowed. The drain field couldn't handle it. But this drain field is middle 50s. So had to have a new drain field put in. You can see we got a roof leak up there now. So got a black tarp strapped across the roof. Obviously the community has no electricity, and you saw the snap power pole when I drove up. This tree here, thankfully neither one of these trees fell, because they would have fallen on the house. The direction was blowing. But this limb here off of this tree, see if I can get in here. And folks, be careful around power lines. The only reason I know this one's dead is because obviously it's turned off at the highway. But you see it pulled that from the soffit. So we got soffit repairs to do. Just take the anchor screw it back into the house. And then they just got to flip the switch back on top of the pole over there, which I'll walk around there and see. But just look at all these pecans on the ground. I mean, there's thousands of pounds right here on our property on the dirt. You know, and even at $1 a pound, you know, that's $1,000 that's gone. And for Nana, $1,000 is a lot of money. A lot of money. And the government help we'll get is slim to none. See my truck there with a coffee cup on the back. Got to have priorities. I had to go somewhere and get coffee. But there's where our power comes from. Branches to the house, to the deep well, and to the barn. And you can see that I have lost half of my grapefruit production, which is weird. That side of the tree is still heavy populated. This side of the tree, not very much. So it's just like half the tree fell. And you see there were some starting to turn. And actually a few of these were from last year that we never picked off. So the ones that are like almost done, they were last year's. But then you see some green ones there, like this one right here. And I love grapefruit. It's, you know, so lost a lot. Orange tree stayed pretty good. You can see our grape arbor here for our muscadine grapes. That post is broke. Several of them are laid over. So, and I really want to save that if I can. Just more trees down here, but I'm going to turn you off and let's walk down there to the pond. Now I've eaten half of this, and I don't know how much of this you can tell. And it actually tastes great. I don't know if I can get this to focus where you can see the right color. So this nut actually looks pretty good. They are light, as I said. But this is the first year that we have picked from this tree, just because this area has always been grown up in grass. But I cut it earlier this year, and Nana is keeping it mowed once a week. So, you know, so we'll start harvesting from this tree too. But you can see there are a lot already on the ground. So I've rambled on long enough. But again, you are my family. Let's stick together. Pray for those that have had way more damage than I have, because we don't need it. We are thankful. So I'll do a cleanup video as soon as I can get my hands on a lawnmower. I mean a lawnmower, a chainsaw. So until then, y'all take care and God bless.